Welcome to Kickit University's Info Bite. Today we're going to talk about target marketing and why, even though your product and or service may be the most amazing thing ever, you really aren't targeting everyone. First, it doesn't matter how amazing your product or service is. Not everyone will need it or want it or wish to buy it. So you're really better off focusing your target audience in a way that is reasonable for you to deal with. For example, a 25-year-old single professional man is going to have much different needs and desires than a 42-year-old stay-at-home mom, right? Those are two entirely different people in different places in their life. So you really need to take the time to figure out your target market. Your target audience, just so you know, is a broad idea of who you are wanting to attract and then potentially sell your product or service. You want to first be clear on whether you're selling to consumers or you have a business-to-business model. You're going to want to align and get your demographic information about your target audience. And then most importantly, you really want to understand their pain points, what keeps them up at night, so that you can make sure that you're selling to them in the way that they want to be sold to. So then the fun really begins, because the gold is in truly understanding who your target is. You want to delve into their psychographics. You want to know their habits, both in and outside the office, because they're people, right? And you're selling to a person, not just somebody sitting behind a desk. You want to understand their pain points thoroughly and really get into the head of that ideal customer. So what we recommend you do in order to do that is to build profiles. And these are 3 written profiles that we believe you really need to have outlined thoroughly before you start to push your marketing and sales campaigns. Those 3 are target audiences, tribes, and ideal customer. And for today's session, we're only going to really talk about the target audience and ideal customer, but we do have more information on these in our database if you're interested. So figuring out this detail, and to an extreme level this detail, really rockets your marketing efforts into solid success. So let's talk a little bit about the differences. Again, your target audience, it's a little more of a broad sweep. It's your demographic information, age, income, gender, occupation, that sort of thing. Your ideal customer profile, however, delves more into their psyche. You want to know hobbies, you want to know attitudes, what they think, how they feel, what their ideas are about things. Having this level of information really helps you. Now, the difference between business to consumer and business to business is that business to consumer, even though you may have multiple profiles, to get started, you can pretty well just start with one thoroughly written ideal customer profile. You want to outline the information, be very specific, give that person a name, make it so clear that you would recognize this person if he or she walked up to you on the street. Whereas in the business to business space, you're selling to people, not buildings. So you still want to put together the profiles, but you need to understand the buying cycle for your product or service. So you're going to have multiple stakeholders and decision makers more than likely, and you need to know who they are, what their pain points are, what their triggers are, and how to speak to them. So you may need a customer profile for the person in finance that's going to ultimately sign off, or perhaps it's a warehouse supervisor that's going to be involved, or maybe it is somebody in the operations division, right? So you need to understand who is involved in that buying cycle on the business to business side, and then create profiles for each of those main people. Make it easy on yourself. By really investing the time and effort in these profiles, you will maximize all your efforts, both on the marketing and the sales side. You'll be fishing in the right pond, so you're not spending a lot of time guessing about where your target audience is, because you're going to recognize them immediately. It'll help you clarify your messaging because you're able to speak the language that they want to hear. It ensures your action from your marketing and sales efforts are very clear and easy to track and will work for you. And at the end of the day, it just makes it much, much easier to sell. So if you have any questions or would like more information, you can always reach us at our toll-free number, email us at info@kickituniversity.com, or by all means visit the website, sign up for more of these info bites and other informative blog posts that we send out on a regular basis, and learn more about our online classes. Thanks and have a great day.